We install cameras to watch the outside world, our front doors, our driveways, our backyards. The goal is simple, to see who is coming, to feel secure. But what if the threat isn't outside? What if the technology meant to protect us reveals something impossible inside? This is the story of a family forced to confront that question. It began with a doorbell, a camera, and a sound that should not have been possible. A notification, a chime. Most would dismiss it as a glitch or prank. But the Henderson family couldn't. The camera's evidence was too clear, yet explained nothing. It showed an event that by all logic and the layout of their home could not have happened. This is where our story begins, in the gap between what we see and what we know. This isn't just a technical anomaly, it's a story about the fear that our homes aren't as safe as we believe. It echoes the anxieties many women feel, the sense of being unheard or disbelieved when something is amiss. This is a modern ghost story, told through the cold lens of a digital camera. The footage didn't lie, but it didn't tell the whole truth either. We'll walk through the timeline, examine the footage, and study the floor plan, a map of the impossible. Most importantly, we'll explore why this story resonates, the unsettling feeling that something is wrong, even when logic fails. The doorbell rang, and in its chime, it echoed a question that haunts us all. The Henderson family was, by all accounts, ordinary. Two sisters, Jessica and Maya, had just moved into a modest home in a quiet Charlotte suburb. Jessica, a graphic designer, worked from home. Maya, a nurse, worked long shifts. Their lives were predictable. Work, meals, errands. Their house was their sanctuary, chosen for its safety and community. Like millions, they installed a smart doorbell camera for peace of mind. For 6 months, it captured only the mundane. Mail, pizza, stray cats. The day of the incident was utterly normal. A Tuesday in October, overcast skies. Jessica was upstairs working. Maya was at the hospital. The house was silent. No one was expected. No deliveries scheduled, no children, no other residents. Jessica was alone, 2 floors from the door. The ordinary day was about to be shattered by a single inexplicable event. A sound and a digital record would challenge Jessica's sense of safety and reality. The context is crucial. It strips away easy explanations. The stage was set for the impossible. Sometimes the most unsettling mysteries begin on the most ordinary days. At 3:47 p.m., Jessica's phone buzzed. A motion alert from the doorbell app. The chime echoed through the house. She checked her phone, expecting a delivery. The live feed showed an empty porch. No person, no animal, nothing. She opened the recording. The video was clear. The doorbell button depressed, held, then released. The camera's light flashed blue, confirming the press. But there was no hand, no finger, nothing visible at all. Jessica replayed the clip, zoomed in, frame by frame. She saw the texture of the brick, a spider web, and the button moving, pressed by an invisible force. It wasn't a glitch, it was a distinct, mechanical movement. The chime was real, the cause was not. Her heart raced. She sent the video to Maya. "Look at this! I'm home alone!" The footage was undeniable proof of an event, but offered no explanation. The camera, meant to capture outside threats, had recorded an impossibility. It was as if someone had reached through a wall. The footage didn't show a stranger. It showed a world not behaving as it should. The digital eye had seen something that wasn't supposed to be possible. The sisters were left with a question. What do you do when the evidence is clear, but the explanation is impossible? Sometimes the scariest thing is not what you see, but what you can't. The first instinct is to search for a logical explanation, a glitch, a malfunction, a short circuit. Jessica and Maya ran through every scenario: power surge, temperature change, a bug inside the device. But the footage showed a clean, deliberate push. No flicker, no digital artifact. No other electrical issues occurred. The lights, computer, Wi-Fi, all normal. The doorbell was the only thing acting strangely. Environmental factors? The wind was gentle, the button recessed and firm. An insect. The movement was too smooth, too human. Every logical path led to a dead end, blocked by the video's clarity. Jessica contacted the manufacturer. Diagnostics showed no errors, no malfunctions. The system logged a button press because, as far as it knew, the button had been pressed. The technology worked perfectly. The problem wasn't a failure, it was that the device had done exactly what it was supposed to do. The evidence was clear, but the explanation was missing. Sometimes, the most unsettling mysteries are the ones where everything works as it should. The sisters were left with a perfect record of the impossible. With technical explanations exhausted, Jessica and Maya turned to the house itself. The front door was set in solid brick, the doorbell mounted on the frame. To press it, you had to stand on the porch, fully visible to the camera. The lens covered the entire area. No blind spots. Inside, the wall behind the doorbell was solid, part of a closet. No wires, no hidden buttons. To press the doorbell from inside, someone would have to phase through wood and drywall. Jessica documented everything: photos, knocking on the wall, checking for secret panels. The architecture was a silent witness. What the video showed could not have happened. The camera proved the button was pressed. The floor plan proved it was impossible. The house itself became part of the riddle. The sisters were trapped in a logical triangle. Every point contradicted the others. When your own home argues with reality, where do you turn? When Jessica shared the story with friends, she expected disbelief. Instead, she heard stories, footsteps on empty stairs, TVs turning on by themselves. These weren't dramatic hauntings, just small, unsettling impossibilities, events that often happen to women, alone in their homes. For centuries, the home has been both sanctuary and confinement for women. When something goes wrong, it's often the woman who notices and who is doubted. Society has long dismissed women's intuition as imagination or overreaction. Jessica's first thought wasn't "something is wrong," but "I must be missing something." This impulse to doubt oneself is a powerful form of gaslighting. The doorbell video was different. It was objective, undeniable proof. It validated Jessica's unease. For many women, the video feels like vindication. I am not crazy, something really did happen. The story resonates because it gives a digital voice to a common female experience. Sometimes technology doesn't just record the impossible, it proves you're not alone. The camera became an unexpected ally in the battle to be believed. With no clear answer, the sisters considered every theory, technical failure, psychological event, or the unknown. Could a rare combination of signals have triggered the doorbell? Possible, but unlikely. Was it a shared delusion? That explanation felt dismissive, returning to the trope of the unreliable narrator. The final possibility, the unknown. Sometimes the most honest answer is admitting we don't know. For Jessica and Maya, it wasn't about believing in ghosts. It was about accepting that their experience didn't fit any box. Theories became less important than the reality of what they saw. Some mysteries resist explanation. The sisters learned to live with the question, not the answer. In the end, the unknown was the only honest category left. The doorbell never rang like that again. The incident remained a single, inexplicable event, a permanent question mark. For a while, the sisters lived with heightened awareness. Every creak felt significant. The home, once secure, now felt unpredictable. They didn't move or tear down walls. Instead, they chose quiet acceptance. They trusted their shared experience, even without proof for others. Their ordeal strengthened their bond and their trust in their own instincts. Stories like this force us to confront the limits of our understanding. The unseen doorbell mystery isn't about finding an answer. It's about living with the lack of one. Some doors, once opened, can never be fully closed. The echo of that impossible chime remains, a reminder that the strangest mysteries happen in the most ordinary places. Sometimes the silence that follows is the loudest sound of all. At its core, this story is about the collision between digital evidence and intuition. The camera provided data, the sisters' intuition told them something was deeply wrong. Society tells us to trust facts, not feelings. But intuition is another form of data. Jessica's unease was as valid as the video itself. We must encourage trust in our own experiences, especially for women. When something feels off in your home, you are the expert. Sometimes the most logical conclusion is that something illogical has occurred. The unseen doorbell mystery asks, what do you do when faced with irrefutable evidence of the impossible? Do you dismiss your senses or expand your worldview? In the end, the doorbell rang from a place it could not be rung from, a simple fact and a universe of questions.